All right, guys, so today we're going to do some more questions pertaining to slope-intercept form, but we're just going to show you some different examples of variations of questions that you might see pertaining to this topic. Okay, so here's something new. Let's say if you are given the slope and a point on the line, you must find the y-intercept using slope-intercept form. Okay, so here's an example of that. If we look at example 1, it says, write the slope-intercept form of the line given the slope m is equal to 8 and the point -3, 1 is on the line. Okay, so they're giving us two pieces of information here. They're telling me that the slope is equal to 8. I have a rise of 8, run of 1. And I know somewhere along that line, it's going to cross the point -3, 1. And our end goal here is we want to write an equation in this format of y is equal to mx plus b in that slope-intercept format. Okay, so remember, if we're trying to write an equation in slope-intercept format, we need two pieces. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. Now we already have the slope, but we don't have the point where it crosses the y-axis. It's only telling me that I crossed this point at -3, 1. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to solve for b and y is equal to mx plus b. But what we can do is we can plug these pieces into this formula in order to solve for b. Okay, so I'm going to use that y is equal to mx plus b formula. So, as a reminder, whenever they give you a coordinate like this, it's two pieces. There's an x-coordinate and there's a y-coordinate. Okay, -3 in this case is x and 1 is equal to y. So what I can do is I can plug these numbers into this equation in order to solve for b. Okay, so the first part I see in y is equal to mx plus b is y. Okay, what is y in this particular point? It's just the number 1, so what I can do is I can plug in 1 for y is equal to m times x. Okay, they're telling me that my slope is equal to 8, so I can just plug in 8 for m. And for this example, x is equal to -3, so I can plug in -3 for x. Now I still don't know what my y-intercept is, but that's what I'm trying to solve for. Okay, so what do I see? On my left-hand side, I still see 1. But I know that 8 times -3 is equal to -24. So I have 1 is equal to -24 plus b. And if I wanted to solve for b, I would just add 24 to both sides. And ultimately get 25 is equal to b. Okay, so what I just did is I solved for my y-intercept. I solved for the point where this line crosses the y-axis. So now I have enough information to write this thing in slope-intercept form. I can write it in the format y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so if I'm trying to write this in this format, I still leave it as y on my left side equals mx plus b. Okay, what's my slope? My slope, they already gave it to me, is equal to 8, so I plug in 8 for m, 8 times x plus my y-intercept, and that's what I solve for up here, 8x plus 25. This right here is the slope-intercept form of this equation up here. It has a slope of 8 and it ultimately crosses the point -3, 1. Alright, so here's a different example that's even a little bit tougher. Let's say if you are given 2 points, here's what you must do. You must find the slope first. Then what we're going to do is we're going to follow the previous steps to find the y-intercept and the slope-intercept form of the line. Okay, so here's a different example. It says, write the slope-intercept form of the line with the given points -1, 12, and 4, -8. So we want the equation of a line that passes through these 2 points in the format y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so this is the toughest one yet because remember, if we want to write an equation slope-intercept form, we need these two ingredients. We need the slope and we need the y-intercept. But we don't have either of those yet. All they're giving us is they're just giving us two different points on this line. These 2 points right here. Okay, so what we need to do first is we need to first find the slope, and we can do that if they give us 2 points. We're going to use that slope formula that I keep alluding to. It's m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so how do we do that? All we got to do is first we got to label one of these points 2 and this other one 1, and plug these points in to find my slope. So to find my slope, what I would do is I first plug in y2, I jump to 2, y2 and the second coordinate is -8. I subtract y1, which looks like it's positive 12. It's over x2, which is 4, minus x1, which would be minus -1, but if we do minus negative, we obviously know it becomes +1. Okay, so to find my slope, I'll have -8 minus 12, and that's going to be equal to -20 over 4 plus 1, which is 5. And if I simplify this even further, -20 over 5 simplifies to just plain old -4. Okay, so I found my first piece. I found the slope of this line by using my slope formula between these 2 points. I know that the slope of this line that's going to cross through these 2 points is going to have a slope of -4. Okay, so I found the m piece of my slope-intercept form. Now I need to find that y-intercept. Okay, we're basically at the exact same point that we were with the previous question. I've got a slope and I've got a point. Okay, so all I really need to do now is I'm going to do that same process I did before. But I can pick either point that I want. I can pick point 1 or I can pick point 2. Okay, point 2 looks a little bit easier to deal with, so I'll stick with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug these numbers into this equation to solve for b. Okay, so remember, this is x and this is y. So I'll plug in into my slope formula, y is equal to mx plus b. I'll plug in -8 for y. I just solved for my slope, which is -4. And I multiply -4 with x, but I just got to make sure I pick the same x coordinate I did for this point over here. So it's going to be +4. That's my x coordinate for there. And then I'm really just trying to solve for b, so I'm just adding b. Okay, so when I simplify this a little bit, I'll have -8 is equal to -4 times 4. That's equal to -16 plus b. If my end goal here is to solve for b, I'm trying to get b by itself. I add 16 to both sides. -8 plus 16 ends up equaling 8. 8 is equal to b. Okay, so now I have my two pieces. I know my slope is equal to -4 and my y-intercept is equal to 8. I can now write my equation that passes through these two lines in slope-intercept form. It's going to be y is equal to -4 x plus +8. And this is the equation of the line that would pass through these 2 points.